Hello, welcome back to my channel Rooted in Reality. I'm Shivani Upadhyaya, your favorite existential Shaivistic philosopher who values your death, scream, hate just as much as your live, laugh, love. When I first spoke to my mentor about my experience with DPDR, that was when she had brought up the panchakoshas, or the 5 layers of our existence. I'll be giving a holistic overview of all 5 of the layers while highlighting one that I think is the root cause of all RBDs. Here are what the panchakoshas look like, and I want to point out that they all end in the word Maya. Now, Maya is Sanskrit for illusion. So, what this means is these are 5 illusions to our core nature of existence, which is being one with cosmic consciousness. Now, that's a fairly heavy topic that we'll dive it deeper into in another video, but for now, let's just break down these layers. The Annamaya. Here, Anna is Sanskrit for food, and this could be taken literally as, you are what you eat. It's also connected to our physical body, our face, skin, hair, nail, eyes. It's what we're most attached to when we're identifying ourselves. The word food may be literal here, but I like to take it a step further and think it's not just about you are what you eat, although food really impacts you, but you are what you consume. The music, the food, the kinds of relationships you involve yourself with, whether platonic or romantic, the entertainment industry, etc. Pranamaya. Prana is your life force energy or breath. This is the thing that will revitalize you and also is the way you're actually able to live because you need to breathe. Manomaya. Here, mano means mind. And this is where we have this egoic attachment to all of the thoughts in our minds. We also only will believe the intake of what we get with our limited 5 senses. Vijñanamaya, the observer or knowledge layer. This is where your ego slowly becomes a little permeable and it dissolves, but you still maintain this knowledge and wisdom that you are yourself, but you're just watching things. Anandamaya, the bliss layer, where a certain level of spiritual ascension will take you into this feeling of safety in your seat of existence, and there will just be this constant experience of joy. Yet, it is still an illusion to the boundless manifestation of what self is. My hypothesis. Part 1. I believe our RBDs are all actually rooted in the Vijñanamaya. Think of depersonalization, derealization, psychosis, schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder. These are all different languages which portray this same foundational idea that the reality we're experiencing really differs from what we're shown in everyday society. Hypothesis Part 2. With these RBDs, I kind of believe we might actually be very close to the Anandamaya, but because that requires a level of ego dissolution and our ego does its job, which is maintaining a consistent human state, we'll actually start resisting super hard when you start getting closer to it. And as we know, whatever you resist will cause your suffering to persist. My hypothesis, Part 3. I believe that there's an exponential function that follows time when it comes to getting to each next Kosha layer. And I believe suffering actually accelerates this process. I've made a fun little visual for us to understand the how and the why. The x-axis represents all of the koshas from Annamaya to Anandamaya. Now note that the Anna to Mano layers have the mind-body matrix. I derived this from having an experience with my Tantra mentor where she was doing a guided meditation through the 5 koshas with me. So I needed my physical layer to exist to meditate, my energetic layer to be able to breathe and settle in, and my mental layer to process her guidance. But thanks to my RBD symptoms, which seemed to come at me at their own free will, I knew I couldn't just think my way into this experiential realm because that would actually require using and staying in the Manomaya to access these other layers. As a result, I personally believe that to go beyond the Manomaya, we need to integrate with the mind-body-soul matrix. The word soul may feel iffy to you, but in future videos, we will be delving deeper into that concept. The y-axis represents progress rate, as in how quickly we're able to integrate and ascend past these koshas. A normal path is steady, but exponential with time consumption, while the suffering path, though it initially lags behind the normal path, has the potential to propel us even faster into Anandamaya, the bliss consciousness layer, driven by the intense need to resolve the pain, and quickly. Notice how the Vijñanamaya, though being closest to the Anandamaya, takes the longest to get to in both scenarios. This is the shared bottleneck where ego dissolution begins, a crucial moment where both paths actually require us to shed our old identities and deeply re examine our concept of reality. It's important to remember that while suffering accelerates progress, it is a very painful journey that requires and demands courage and self awareness. But through this pressure, we have the opportunity to be able to transform into something connected, resilient, and more blissfully aware. What if the pain that you've experienced is so unreal that it's actually the catalyst to discovering the most real truth that there is, because whatever you went through caused you to think so unconventionally but truthfully? Disclaimer: you don't have to suffer greatly for the purpose of this level of liberation. There are plenty of shamans, sages, gurus, and monks that have gotten to this place without needing to go through all this trauma. Because this channel is focused on those with severe trauma and RBDs, I want to find an effective philosophical framework to turn their pain into purpose. As we will see in our breakdown of all RBDs, they're all kind of comorbidities that stem from PTSD and CPTSD, which is literally a condition that stems from having consistent levels of great suffering. Which bliss is better? So while Tantra invites us to see divinity in all vibrational realms, let's do a comparison and I'll let you decide. I'm sure you're very aware of the positivity culture that's in privileged societies where people only want to consume lighthearted, pleasant content. This type of positivity often encourages people to bypass some difficult truths, avoid accountability, and ignore the deeper suffering or injustices affecting others. This creates what I like to call fake bliss, a surface level amount of positivity that can only exist because you avoid or deny reality. Someone with fake bliss may unfollow you, may not want to talk about what's going on in the world because it's too negative or upsetting, but people with real bliss will actually be thought provoked and want to engage in these conversations because they want to learn. They're comfortable with the shadows of their own selves, so why not with the world's? Someone with fake bliss may react to their own personal suffering by suppressing and pushing it down with their favorite toxic positivity quotes. People who experience real bliss have often confronted their own suffering and shadows and done the inner work. As a result, this real bliss doesn't disappear in the face of adversity because it's not dependent on something external. Disclaimer: there is a balance to all of this. Engaging in too much of harsh, violent, negative reality can actually end up disarming us from doing our best work because we get stuck in a loop. We are human after all. Likewise, only being open to very surface level amounts of positivity prevents you from giving you the self-love of gaining depth. I believe I've experienced a bit of Anandamaya. I think I'm coming at you live from it right now. I can't say I'm always living in it, but if I was able to take myself from where I was from my traumas and my RBDs to being here, then I know that it is also possible to happen for you too. And I'm committed to putting in the work for that while also being rooted in reality. Thank you so much for watching my breakdown, and I'll see you in the next video.